Hi everyone, welcome to this week. We're going to be looking at the role of utility. Utility is looking at the satisfaction from consuming a good or service. When we look at utility, we have the consumer decision-making process based on utility maximization. It's represented by this term called util, and that is how we measure utility, by utils. We have a concept called marginal utility, and that's how decisions are made in our economy. Decisions are made on the margin. So marginal utility is where we're looking at the additional satisfaction from consuming a good or service. So if we look at this table right here, we're trying to figure out our satisfaction and where we should stop consuming. If you look at, you can make this any type of consumption. You can make this number of slices of pizza, they did number of digital app downloads, but any type of consumption you can utilize. So we download 0, we get 0 utility or utils. Now we download 1, we get a total of 10 utils. From that one download, we get 10 utils. That's the additional satisfaction. We download 2, we get a total of 16 utils. For the second util, we get 6 utils of satisfaction. So 10 plus 6 gives us 16. We consume 3, we get 19, we get 3 from the third one. 4, we get total of 20, we get 1 from that one. 5, we get 20, we get 0. 6, we get 18, we get negative 2. When we look at this table, now we're figuring out, okay, where should we have stopped consuming? We should have stopped consuming at the first level, or the first unit. At the first unit, that is where we get the most satisfaction from consuming a good or service. After every unit after that, you notice we get 6, 3, 1. We do get satisfaction, but not as much as the previous. That's very important. That is called, after the first unit, we have diminishing marginal utility sets in. All decisions within economics are based off the margin. When we look at this graph, there's two different panels here. We're looking right here at the marginal utility. You notice whenever the marginal utility is positive, total utility will be increasing. When marginal utility is negative, you'll notice that total utility will be decreasing. When marginal utility is at 0, total utility will be maximized. Marginal utility falls as more is consumed. That's the diminishing marginal utility concept. Marginal utility is going to equal 0 when total utility will be at the highest. Diminishing marginal utility will set in. It will set in when we're looking at how our consumption patterns are being evaluated. Diminishing marginal utility will set in when we focus on the analysis in terms of how do we consume goods or services. So now, the definition that's very important is, as an individual consumes more of a particular commodity, the total level of utility derived from that consumption usually increases. Eventually, the rate at which it increases is going to diminish as more is consumed. So we're not going to get as much as we had before. So we're going to get less and less and less. We do get some satisfaction, but not as much as the previous. When we look at consumer optimization, we're trying to find a set of goods and services that maximize the level of satisfaction for each consumer subject to a limited amount of income. So let's look at some sweaters are priced at $100, and Jill Sanders' designer sweater costs over $2,000. We're trying to figure out where the best place to consume at, given our utility and our budget. So what we're trying to do is find out, we have income levels of $26. You're going to get these 3 columns right here. And you notice we're trying to figure out between two goods where we should stop consuming. If we look at this marginal utility per dollar, how did they get this? They took marginal utility right here and they divided it by the price. MU over price to give us this. So we're looking at where are these two equal? They are equal right here, where we buy 4 digital app downloads, and where we buy 2 flash drive downloads. So we want to see, do we have enough income for this? So 4 times 5, that's 20. 2 times 3, that's 6, $26. So we've now maximized our consumption given our limited resources, and that's what we should focus on. You're going to have to calculate this column, which is MU divided by price, and then find where these two are equal, and then does our income satisfy this? If you need additional resources, please let me know, or assistance, as I can easily provide it.